Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube universe, what is going on with you on this Tuesday? It is Tuesday, February 27th, roughly 5:20 p.m. California time. I am, of course, your always gracious host, Fallon from GoNootropics.com. Coming at you with the chamomile chairs. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, drop a comment. How are you doing? What has been going on? What has been going on with me? I think my last upload was prior to Christmas, December 25th. So it's been a minute since we've uploaded. What has been going on? We went to New York over the holidays. You know, we had these plans to quit Kratom. I know I told you guys we were going to come off the Kratom together sometime in January. That didn't happen. You know, I got busy. We went to New York for a couple weeks. We came back. We got married, me and Christine. So you are officially looking at a married man. So a lot has been going on over here at the Enterprise. But we are back in the saddle. And of course, I wrote my new book. This is called The Big Book of Kratom. This is something I've been working on for a long time now. I think I worked on this a lot longer than my first book on Kratom. This is out. This is available. This will be my last piece of writing on Kratom. You know, I told you guys I was going to put the nail in this whole thing. I wrote the first book to kind of talk about my journey quitting Kratom and speak to kind of that side of the Kratom experience, the negative side. But I also wanted to hook new people, to warn new people, to give people the full scoop, baby. I'm looking at the books. I'm looking at, you know, a lot of the comments, a lot of the Reddit posts, and there's still this kind of like, it was like, you know, cannabis back in the days, how we thought cannabis was the miracle cure and cannabis was going to cure cancer and this and that. And then we found out that there was this other side to cannabis that for a long time people just kind of ignored. You know, when there's that resistance towards something, when the government or somebody's trying to take something away from you, you try to bury the negatives of that thing, right? And this is what's been going on with Kratom, and there's a lot of new people coming into Kratom, taking Kratom for pain and this and that. And I wrote the book just to warn these people, like, you know what, here's what Kratom is. I tell you, you know, all about strains, what are the strains, how to take it. This is like the most comprehensive guide to taking Kratom. And also a dire warning, well, maybe not dire, but I do go over the pros and certainly the cons in the book. So I think it's the most well-rounded book on Kratom out there. It's a lot longer than a lot of the other books, which are like 20 pages long. If you look at the other books on Amazon, the available books on Kratom, they're like 20 pages long. They don't tell you much. They just kind of talk about the good sides. They might mention that Kratom is addictive, but they really don't drill it in, you know. When I was writing this book, I like to write books that are interesting when I write. I like to write in an engaging way, in a way that kind of keeps you reading. You know, hopefully that came across in the first book. I tried to keep that same style throughout this book as well, you know, delivering the truth in an engaging, interesting way. And so I hope this book reaches a lot of new Kratom users who are coming into Kratom. You know, they might want to pick up a book. So I hope they find this one because, you know, if they pick up anything else, they're going to be taken out into the weeds, right? So this is the new book. It's called The Big Book of Kratom. You know, I hate to come back after months of no uploads and shill a new book to you guys. But this is it. This is what I've been working on. This is going to be my last piece of writing on Kratom. This is the nail in the coffin. So if you like what I do here on the channel, you want to support the enterprise, pick up that book, leave a review on Amazon, you know, after you've read it. Leave a review, and hopefully this book gets in front of people who are, you know, new to Kratom and want the full spectrum of knowledge. So that's what's going on. This book took me quite a long time to write. It took me quite a long time to edit. It's still short for a book, even though it is called the Big Book of Kratom. But I called it the Big Book because the others are much shorter. So this book is big in comparison. I think it clocks in at like 130 pages, so a little bit longer than my last book. And, you know, tells you everything you need to know. Maybe you watch these videos, you are a Kratom user. New and experienced users alike will learn a thing or two reading this book. I researched a lot. There was a lot I didn't know about Kratom. There's a lot of new things that I learned researching for the book. And of course, it has my own, you know, personal experience and knowledge, you know, using Kratom for many, many years. You know, we've been on Kratom for many years. I'm still taking Kratom. I still plan to come off. You know, we need to regroup and decide when we're going to do this. I need to decide when we're going to do this. You know, I was thinking about hosting this whole thing in the Discord, but I'm thinking now that's not really the best place to do it because there's still a lot of people over there who like Kratom. They like to take Kratom, and I just don't want to mix those two together. You know, I don't want to make people feel bad for taking Kratom. I don't want to, you know, make people, you know, I don't want people feeling like they're being forced to take a second look in the mirror. You know, if you want to take Kratom, that's fine. But for me, this is like, you know, the second time I planned on coming off long term. And it's like, it just needs to end. You know, this is probably the most Kratom I've ever taken at this point now. Prior, I was taking 20 grams. I'm probably up to maybe 30 plus grams of Kratom a day. And it's just, you know, I don't need to tell you guys the same old story. It's tiresome. It's robbing me of energy. It's robbing me of life. And it's just time to come to terms with what it is. I'm not using Kratom for pain. I have no business taking 30 grams of Kratom per day. You know, especially if you're just kind of taking it to escape. It's like Kratom will rob you of these good things over time. Kratom will rob you of positive emotions. You're going to become a very apathetic person taking 30 grams of Kratom per day. If you could keep your dosage down, you know, we've talked about this till we're blue in the face. If you could keep your dose down for a long time, well, then Kratom will probably deliver you a lot of good benefits. But if you can't, and you're somebody who, you know, you're pushing 30 plus grams a day and it takes a lot of willpower to keep your dosage low, well, you're just better off coming to terms with quitting. And it's just, that's where I'm at with Kratom. I know that's where a lot of you guys are at with Kratom. So we're going to come off. I will set an official date. I know this last time I just got way too busy. Went to New York, came back, got married. You know, work was pretty busy, working, you know, all these things going around. I just didn't have time for the videos. I didn't have time to do all this stuff. I was writing the new book. And now that this is out, we're going to have a lot more time for videos. We're going to have a lot more time to kind of hopefully all quit Kratom together for those of you that want to. And hopefully put a nail in this coffin and move on to other things, move on to greener pastures, right? So this is the new book. I appreciate all of you guys who go out and purchase this book, leave a review. It helps me out. It gives me motivation to do these videos. And, I put a lot of work into this, and I just really want to get this into the hands of people who are new to Kratom so, they don't walk into this whole thing blind as a bat, right? So even if you're experienced with Kratom, yeah, you might not learn a thing or two, but if you purchase the book, Amazon will push it up in its algorithm and it will get into the hands of, new users who have not the slightest clue about what Kratom is, and they can make an informed decision because, yeah, it's not the most dangerous thing in the world. We know this. But still, nobody likes to walk blindly into something and then, years later, they're like, oh shit, I didn't know this about, I didn't know how addictive it was. I didn't know about these side effects. I didn't know it robs you of life, right? So thank you for checking this book out. Once again, FallonGoNootropics.com. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will see you very soon. Peace.